They're testing you. Right now. The moment you stop needing approval, people start respecting you differently, subscribe, and learn the psychology they never explain. Before anyone respects you, they test you, not once, constantly, in ways you don't even notice. Most people think respect comes from what you say, but in reality, it comes from what you tolerate silently. Every interaction becomes a small psychological battlefield where people test your limits without saying a word. It starts with something small, almost unnoticeable. A slight interruption when you are speaking confidently. A delayed response to see if you chase attention. A joke that crosses the line just a little. And they pause, watching carefully how you react. If you laugh it off without control, they go further. If you hesitate, they mark you as uncertain instantly, because hesitation signals lack of internal authority, and people are naturally drawn to clear boundaries. Not loud aggression, but calm and controlled presence. The kind of presence that doesn't need validation. But most people misunderstand this completely. They think being nice earns them respect, so they tolerate more than they should. They allow small disrespect to pass unnoticed, hoping it will somehow improve how others see them. But the opposite happens every single time. Each tolerated moment lowers their perceived value. Each uncontrolled reaction gives away their position, and slowly, without realizing, they lose control. Not because people are cruel, but because they are observing. Observing where you stand in the social hierarchy, and every small test becomes a data point, a signal that defines how they will treat you later. That's why these moments matter more than words, because behavior reveals truth faster than language. People don't sit down and consciously judge your worth, but their brain constantly calculates your position socially through patterns of behavior and emotional responses. They look for consistency, control, and emotional stability because those traits signal strength and reliability. If your reactions are unpredictable or overly emotional, they see it as weakness, even if it's unintentional. That's why they test you in different situations. Sometimes directly, sometimes in subtle, hidden ways. They might ignore you to see if you seek validation. They might challenge your opinion to see your reaction. They might invade your personal space slightly, just to observe if you maintain your composure, and every time you respond, you reveal your level. Not the level you think you have, but the real one. Because pressure removes all masks instantly. Under pressure, your true behavior becomes visible. And that's exactly what they are looking for. Not perfection, but control under uncomfortable situations. The ability to stay calm without losing your center. Because calm control signals high internal value, and people instinctively respect that without question. But emotional reactions trigger the opposite effect. They signal insecurity even when it's not true. And once that signal is sent, it's hard to reverse. Because first impressions in these tests are powerful. They shape future interactions without you noticing. That's why awareness is your strongest advantage. Because once you see the pattern, you stop reacting blindly. The reason most people fail is very simple. They react instead of responding with awareness. They let emotions take control of the moment, without realizing that moment defines their value. A small disrespect feels personal and triggers reaction. They try to defend, explain, or prove themselves instantly, but in doing that, they lose their position. Because the need to prove signals lack of confidence, and people detect that faster than you think, not consciously, but through instinctive perception. That's why over-explaining is one of the biggest mistakes. It shows that you are seeking approval indirectly, and approval seeking lowers perceived authority immediately. Another common mistake is nervous laughter under pressure. Trying to diffuse tension without maintaining boundaries. It feels safe, but it sends the wrong signal. It tells others that your boundaries are flexible. And flexible boundaries invite more pressure over time because people push where resistance is weak. Not always intentionally, but naturally and repeatedly. And the more you allow it, the more it grows until it becomes your default treatment everywhere. At work, in relationships, and social environments. And breaking that pattern becomes harder later, because people already defined you in their mind based on your previous reactions and behavior. That's why early responses matter the most, because they create the foundation of future respect. And once that foundation is weak, it takes effort to rebuild. Passing these tests doesn't require aggression or confrontation. It requires control, awareness, and precise emotional discipline. The first rule is simple but difficult to apply. Do not react immediately, no matter the situation. Create a small pause before any response. That pause alone changes the entire dynamic because it shows that you are in control, not controlled by the situation or other people. Then respond calmly without emotional intensity. Keep your tone neutral, your body language steady. No defensive energy, no need to prove anything. Just a clear, controlled response that sets boundaries. For example, if someone interrupts, you don't rush. Pause, look at them and continue speaking calmly. That subtle action communicates more than words ever could. It shows that your space is not easily taken, and people immediately feel that shift in energy. Another powerful tool is selective silence. Not every test requires a verbal response. Sometimes, no reaction is the strongest response, because it removes the reward they are looking for. And without reward, the behavior stops naturally. Over time, this creates a new pattern around you. People begin to treat you with more caution, more awareness, more respect, without you asking. Because you trained them through consistent behavior, not through words, but through controlled reactions. And that is the highest form of social power, the ability to influence behavior without forcing it. Once you reach that level, the tests become rare because people already know your boundaries clearly. The moment you stop reacting is the moment they start respecting.